The original concept for Anthem happened a long, long time ago, many, many moons ago. If you think back through BioWare's history, it's kind of famous for creating these really immersive worlds and amazing single-player stories, relatable characters, but there was always this sense of wanting to do multiplayer. And so even back to things like Neverwinter Nights had a multiplayer mode, and the Mass Effect franchise has a multiplayer mode, and Dragon Age has a multiplayer mode. And so while, story has been so important, there was this real desire to create this shared world experience, to have an amazing story that you share with your friends. The game's been in development for 6 years, but that's kind of a misleading time frame, right? Because at the beginning, there's very few people. It's a brand new IP, and so you're trying to work out the rule set.
Yeah, like any development, you go through your R&D, you go through your concept and discovery. You do that for several months, if not a year, depending on the actual nature of the product. Then you slowly start to staff up, you prototype, you make sure that you get things like gameplay right, and I think we're nailing it. We've got our flight, the combination of flight to exploration, that combat system.
We really wanted to make a new IP to add to BioWare, but doing so is really complicated. It takes a lot of time. So the vision is all about what are the do's and don'ts of the game. Our vision was superheroic combat. Okay, well, so what does that mean? That could be many things. And so from there, we create visions within that. So we have things like always moving forward. That vision was all about, it's not a cover shooter. We want to incentivize pushing forward. That's what being superheroic is. The second tenet was high mobility. We believe that there's fun in high mobility. So we wanted gear and abilities to be more meaningful than other shooters. So it wasn't just about gunplay, it was about adding abilities.
The concept of this new crazy world that was developed and built by the Shaper gods, but wasn't finished. So it gave us a really amazing sandbox, right, to play within.
We also needed to make sure that gameplay was captivating and different and very replayable. And we always wanted to build Anthem as a live service, so we had to make sure we had the right progression systems so that players would play this game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and we could build and expand on it for years and years to come.
You combine that with the gameplay that we've got, so the concept of actually having flight into a seamless merger of combat. This rich, dense world that's not only horizontal from an open world perspective, but also vertical, right? So flight being a necessary thing, traversal being a necessary thing. Some of the challenges throughout development, when you're developing a product that's always online, having the game always online, right? While you're still building it. So all of your infrastructure, all of your systems are a moving target, yet you're still trying to evaluate and play that content on that moving target.
Most people who play the game are like, wow, flight's really cool. I haven't played flight like this in a game before. And there's probably a good reason for that. In a normal kind of situation, flight breaks every part of a game. To make flight be great in this game, we had to build a world that was very vertical. So that was all the world building. The mission structure had to be paced in a way that flight felt great between objectives, but you couldn't skip things. And that was very challenging for the quest designers.
Yeah, I think the one thing that a lot of people and a lot of fans or even just critics of our craft will look at Anthem and try to follow suit on. I think there's two things. One, I think it's the combination of our rich, deep storytelling, a game for BioWare, merged with a cooperative experience, right? So this amazing journey that we go on together. The other thing would be our gameplay system, right? Again, I've mentioned it before, that concept of seamlessly transitioning from amazing flight into combat and giving you those abilities to just get lost in the controls while you navigate the world. It's a privilege to be a part of a new IP, right? It's not very often in our industry that new IPs get launched, right? So I think if there's something and I'll speak for the entire team, we're most proud about is the fact that we're launching this new IP, right? And we're super excited about it.
We're just really excited for players to play the game. So if you're not sure if you want to play the game, at least come and try it for free, and then you can decide.